Hey, what's up you guys? Brandasauresrex here coming at you with a sci-fi Revoltech review. And today we're going to be reviewing the sci-fi Revoltech Baragon, or Baragon. So before we take a look at the figure and all of its pretty cool accessories, let's take a look at the box, which I actually really like. So, for the first round of accessories, Baragon comes with this nameplate, this coin, and this box for holding accessories in. So for the next round of accessories, Baragon comes with this little hut house, which is pretty cool, which is also in the movie that this Baragon is based off of, which is Baragon versus Frankenstein, or Frankenstein versus Baragon, a little horse, which is pretty cool. And this is actually detachable from here, so you just pull this out and you can also attach it here in some fashion, which is pretty cool. I love how this looks. And also two very large trees, which are very out of scale with everything that I have, but I will show off how large Baragon is with everything. So there you go, if you wanted to see how Baragon is in scale with everything. There you go. So for a second I wanted to talk about the detailing and sculptural details that are going on with Baragon. And there is a lot of cool detailing going on with this figure. Being a fan favorite kaiju for a lot of people, I can see the challenge that Revoltech or SciFi Revoltech had to go through with making this figure. There was a lot of work that went into this figure on making him absolutely the cutest that he had to be, because this figure had to come off very cute, because Baragon is a very cute looking kaiju, if that makes sense, for a giant monster who breathes fire. I wanted to talk about the face for a second and show off the face details and the sculpting in the face. All these little bumps and ridges that are going on the head sculpt look fantastic. And I think the addition of adding in the movable ears, which I'll go over more in articulation, really does sell Baragon's hidden power of cuteness. I think that Baragon has a superpower of cuteness that overwhelms people, and it is perfectly displayed with the idea of movable ears. Moving down to the lower stomach, you can see all the textural patterns in there, which looks really nice. And then turning it around to the back, you can see all the sculptural details that went in to the back, and all these like plates kind of details. It looks really nice. He almost kind of looks like a loaf of bread. It almost makes me kind of hungry. And this detail travels all the way down into the tail, which is very nice. So for articulation, Baragon has a pretty cool range of articulation, so let's get into it. So starting at the ears, Baragon's ears can move back, very far back, which is pretty cool. His head is on a, well, his mouth can open and close ever so slightly, really nice. His head is on a Revoltech joint at the upper neck, so he can move all around really nicely. His neck is on a Revoltech joint, so he can move freely all the way around down here, really cool. His shoulder has a Revoltech joint in there, so he gets all that movement in there. He can move at the elbow at a hinge joint. Shockingly, I thought there'd be a Revoltech joint in there, but there is not. So a hinge joint here, a Revoltech joint at the wrist, can move all around in there, pretty cool. Nothing at the waist, sadly. I would like an ab crunch, but I could see how breaking the sculpt up would be rather distracting. And then there's a Revoltech joint in the, whoa, figure's falling. There's a Revoltech joint in the thigh, and that will move around however you want. A Revoltech joint in the knee, really nice, nice and ratchety. You could hear it clicking around in there. Another Revoltech joint in the foot, which allows for an ankle swivel, really nice. Moving down to the tail, another Revoltech joint there, and a bendy wire. Not my favorite thing in the world, but it's there. Pretty freaking cool. And all of this allows Baragon to get into some pretty cool action poses. So now that we have the articulation out of the way, let's do some size comparisons of Baragon with some other Revoltech and SH Monster figures. So now that we wrapped up this size comparison, let's wrap up this whole review with my final thoughts. So to wrap up this review, I'm just gonna quickly say it. Baragon is a pretty awesome figure. I gotta admit it. I love this little guy. It's grown on me since I bought it. I bought it in a deal with another Godzilla figure from a seller, and it was kind of an add-on. It was just like an impulse kind of thing. I wasn't really searching for this figure, and I wasn't really excited for it. But having it now, this figure is really awesome, and I'm so glad I bought it, because it opened the door up for me to buying Revoltech figures, and I'm really excited for all the Revoltech figures that I've gotten so far, and I'm just so happy that I bought this figure now, seeing how cool it is and seeing how cool other Revoltech figures are. So I'm really just happy overall with this figure. It's small, but even though it's small, it can work with some really cool figures. Scaling wise, I don't think it kind of works with the SH Monster Arts, because Baragon is supposed to be really small comparing to some of these other guys. So if you were to compare Godzilla or any of the larger SH Monster Arts figures to the hut that comes with Baragon, you would know that they're completely out of scale. But besides that, I think that if you kind of put the scale aside, if you think of these figures as just guys in suits and not think of them as, you know, size accurate or whatever, and you know how they're supposed to be in the movie compared to the toy, whatever, it just works. It looks cool having Godzilla next to Baragon and having them fight or whatever, and I think this is just pretty badass. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. So if you want to follow me and get all my social media updates, like when I'm going to edit videos and what's my next review and all of that, you can like my Facebook page. The link to that will be down below, and follow me on Instagram. And if you want to get updates for more reviews and unboxings like this and other things that you may have seen on my channel, subscribe. So enjoy the photos at the end, and I'm gonna go. Peace.
Crisp.